Hey there, welcome back to Sea Power. This is part 2 of mission 6 from the 89 Horizon series. This is Gulf Breach 2. This is a surface group and we still have to eliminate it. It is led by the Russian aircraft carrier Orel and the Baton Rouge is in position to strike. So far in this scenario we have eliminated or engaged a couple of Soviet submarines and hopefully that was it for those threatening our oil platforms. Let's focus on the destruction of these escort ships. And then finally deal with the destruction of the ships that they are escorting. This supposed invasion force, albeit it's only 2 ships. 7051 is our friend from before. We have hit the Victor over on the western side. Here. I wonder if that's going to be enough to take him out. Wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna struggle for a little while and then die anyway. How are these guys doing on speed? I'm seeing 32 knots, 23, 12, 12, 12. That makes them pretty capable of detecting my torpedo when I launch it. I got a 28-mile range. I want to wait just a little more. They launched another P-42? They carry 4, I guess, so it makes sense, but... Oh, you got nothing left. Okay, fine, go home. I've been popping a lot of helicopters lately, so... I have lost a lot of my AIM-54s that way. Need to get another flight up. Not just the one I just ordered, but another. Carrier's going to be busy retrieving and cycling through aircraft for a while. Give me 2 more. Okay, boys. So far, so good, Tomcats. Well done. Status here. Depth 325. He's changing depth fairly quickly. I'm not sure if that's voluntary. He might not survive this. He might not survive this. Okay, what about the guy over here with the other oil rig? We're gonna just drop a couple of torpedoes behind him. Oh, you got a different type. You got the Mod 5. We don't. We carry the standard ones. It's unfortunate. They got 2 miles less range. Okay, in that case, maybe we can sandwich the guy. No such thing as overkill. What do you mean 4 torpedoes is a bit much for one submarine? Relative position... No, I want to go a bit farther. 7051? What, are you shitting out noisemakers again? Is he... Hold on. What is 7051? Oh, that's this guy. He's just positively identified as a submarine. Hostile sub. Okay, never mind then. Let's try not to have a mid-air collision between these birds. Be a wasteful engagement. 7045 faded. I think that was the sonobuoy, noisemaker. He's doing an emergency surface now. He's coming right back up at speed. Most likely eliminated. Yes. Seeing as I don't really have anything else for this guy to do, I might keep him around. You, however, are going to start laying the sonobuoys that the P3 was laying. On station. Defend this oil rig. Or at least detect things threatening the oil rig. 2 miles out. Double drop. And then comes Hucker 2 with another double drop. 1 mile. There's 1 and 2. Roger, turn 060. Should be able to see the P3 if it wasn't very dark there. 1 away. 2 away. Hey, dude. Fancy meeting you here. Let's see whose torpedo is going to get the kill. Situation here. I need to make sure this thing actually... Huh? Okay. They don't typically fully surface. I know they can with an emergency blow. I just don't regularly see them do that. Single shot against that guy again. Might not be necessary though. Might be overkill again. Alright, how are we doing? We have Snake 3. Snake 3, establish yourself at 37. Snake 1. Go to 37. No, 37. Thank you. Snake 5. Joker 3. We're going to engage. Yeah, Salva 2. Casback. Okay, we've hit 7051. That was from the P3B. You and your friend lining up, yes? Yes. That's 1. And 2. Against the Chilican as well. 1. And 2. Okay, delivery complete. Go back home. Right then. So this guy's been hurt. He's making a break for it, or at least attempting to. He's popping all sorts of noisemakers. What I don't really know is where all my torpedoes went, because I didn't hit him 3 times. I hit him once. And I do believe I threw 4 torpedoes at it. That's a noisy boat. That's a noisy boat. Faded. Not really. Still got him. Good. Okay. Let's see if that was enough damage for him. How about you? You're still here? Huh. I thought you'd be dead by now. Disappointing. Alright. We are now... Well, we're decent range. Unfortunately, I think the Orel will hear the launch and will turn away. So we're not doing that. Do we have any of the other tar boxes or snakes or stuff that can engage that aircraft? Not presently. Tar box 4 coming in for landing. Tar box 6 coming in for landing. Tar box 3 coming in for landing. Yeah, Kira's going to be busy for a while. And here we have a confirmation of the Oscar-class submarine destroyed. That's the guy over here. It's the big guy. So that's one submarine less to worry about. Very good. And now we need to have a look at the guy here, the Victor 2, who's somehow managed to survive. We have another torpedo in the water, and this guy, I think, should do the trick if it's not going to get fooled by the noisemaker. But, I mean, the noisemaker doesn't really return that much of a reflection. This thing does. However... Nope, torpedo's getting fooled. Look at that. Right over him. I think somebody got really nervous from that shot.
Engaging track 703.
He's holding his depth as well. He just hasn't restored his propulsion yet. Let's see if this Mark 46 is going to turn around and re-engage, because I think it can take out that Victor. I just need to make sure. Okay, so we have this thing mostly cleared, but there's a whole lot of terrain that we haven't quite covered. Let's continue with that. I need to make sure there's nothing else threatening the area. Great, more air. What you got? Another helicopter. Okay then. You're really not changing course? This thing is stubbornly continuing at a course of 174. Single shot. Engage Victor 2. Nope, he just doesn't seem to care about the fact that he missed. Torpedo is just not changing course. That's unfortunate. Alright, re-engage. Even another torpedo from the P3 is doing the exact same thing. And sailing over the submarine. It's not even actively pinging, this torpedo. I don't quite get what the deal is here. Dallas is way out of range to engage this thing. I'm getting a little fed up with Victor 2 over here. This guy is getting a little bit annoying at this stage. In the meanwhile, we have a rival of our harpoons against those surface units. And I think it's going to be fairly one-sided, because the Kazbek doesn't really carry any defensive weaponry. The Chilikin doesn't get any defensive weaponry either, so it's going to be a pretty straightforward, oh shit, here come the harpoons. And unfortunately for them, nobody else is around to help them out. They have no friends capable of throwing up missiles or chaff or any defensive options for them. So that means it is going to be a pretty swift and most likely deadly encounter for them. My harpoons have nicely stuck to their targets, so I don't have to retask them or send even more missiles after these two ships. I think we'll see that Kazbek explode first and the Chilikin slightly after. Again, an example of the AI not escorting their fleet well enough. Then again, this is done in the mission editor and not really the AI. So I can't exactly be blaming the AI too much for that. And the worst part is, these guys might not even know they're under attack. They might just be sailing along and then, even in this darkness, I don't think you're gonna spot that. Instant life rafts, so he's been destroyed. And the only thing this guy saw is the other guy exploding. And all of a sudden, he gets 4 harpoons as well. It's probably critical damage against this ship. So that should be their makeshift invasion force going down. The Victor 2 is once again coming up. What are you doing? Oh, he's restored propulsion. Yep, he's just... okay. Right. He's noisy about it, but he managed to restore propulsion. Come on, P3. Get the kill. It's a good thing it's not an S3 Viking, or I'd be out of torpedoes by now. Okay, you gentlemen, I have high hopes for you. And the bar by your predecessors has been set pretty low, so it really shouldn't be that hard to find this thing. There you go. And eliminate it. There you are. Victor 2's probably aware of the problem. I wonder if he still carries any noisemakers. He might not. Hit. Still a second torpedo around. What, you ate a noisemaker again? Ah, very good. Objective complete, Gulf Breach. All enemy submarines have been located and destroyed before reaching critical targets. The Gulf's oil infrastructure remains intact and the convoy is safe. Your swift action has preserved a vital lifeline for the war effort. Outstanding. So that means I can pretty much halt all further ASW efforts and start doing some anti-surface warfare of my own. To that end, I intend to do grave harm against the enemy aircraft carrier and friends. So we're going to go with single shots, and we're going to have these go doglegging. That means they're going to go 1 and then south. That's about 17 miles. That means I still got plenty of fuel left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got plenty of fuel left to engage them. Which is definitely a concern when you're playing with doglegging. Sometimes you might go, oh, the target's within 14 miles, I can engage that. Yes, but if you're sending the torpedo not directly after the target, but at an angle, then you might not actually be able to get there. Especially if the target starts running away. Which sometimes, very annoyingly, they tend to do. Now, this Chilikin, surprisingly, hasn't died yet. The Kazbek is already sinking. This guy is not. Maybe we need to persuade him a little more. For now, I'm just going to wait for the torpedoes to get to their assigned positions and then turn them south. And what I can also do is, of course, use the America and start launching additional A6s. That is, if the flight deck isn't too busy. We're going to say A6, anti-ship, heavy, not precision. Precision is not a great option as far as I'm concerned. I'll take a couple of groups of 3. 1 section, 2 sections. There we go. And I still have the other one up here, Joker 1. I don't really wish to engage with Joker 1 against this whole group, because I'm not sure what the torpedoes are going to hit. And with all the ships alive, it's very likely that they'll just shoot those missiles down. What I can do is jam them. And Iron Claw 2 was already doing that. So now they're going to be blind. Even the helicopter's going to be blind, but that doesn't really matter. The problem for me is more so their sonobuoy capability. New passive contact 7061. Which is where, my friend? Oh, you got another noisemaker. Alright, not a problem. Right, the P3? I don't know. Recall it? Doesn't really have a job right now. I'll just keep it buzzing around here. As my torpedoes are transiting in the dark, it looks like some of these ships are getting a little jumpy. I'm seeing all sorts of AT-2s being thrown around. These are small anti-submarine torpedoes, and they are looking in the direction where my torpedoes came from. / are gonna come from. So they know about the torpedoes, and they ain't happy. Which makes sense, because if you're getting chased by any kind of torpedo, you're probably gonna have messed up somewhere before. Now, the plan. Escort duties first. Yes, the Orel is a nice target, but if I can eliminate their escorts, such as the Sovremeni and the Krivak and the Kashin, that will make sure that they don't have that many defenses left by the time that the Joker birds come in. That's Jokers 5 and 8. It's their flights, so these boys carry a total of 24 harpoons. Throw in another 2 from, where are they? Joker 1, here. And we have the opportunity to engage even more. They're detecting all sorts of submarines, which are actually torpedoes. They're throwing these things out as if they are free. You can see 2, 4, 6. And the Orel is running at 15 knots, possibly going to be increasing speed later. The beauty of doglegging your torpedoes is that the Baton Rouge by now will be almost ready to go again. 6 minutes out. I think we'll take about that much time to pursue these targets as well. Let's see how we're doing. Sovereign running 33 knots. Orel is now increasing speed to 20. I don't think you're going to run away from this thing. The only hope they got is running out of fuel on the torpedoes. Because other than that, they typically survive. Are you not dead? 4 harpoons and you're not dead? Okay. It's a vital target. Let's get it out. That's weird. How'd you survive all that? Alright, listen up. You're gonna go after the Krivac. You're gonna go after the Sovereign. You're gonna go after nothing. Until otherwise directed. I'm gonna push them somewhere in the vicinity of where I think the target's going to be. Simply because at some point they might not keep in touch with the submarine. They might lose contact. When that happens, I still want to have them somewhere in the direction of the target so that the seeker cone's going to have the best chance of engaging them by themselves. 3.5 miles out and closing quickly. As for threats to the Baton Rouge, I doubt these guys have a great seeker cone. Yeah, they can see almost nothing. Compare that to the Mark 48 and you get a massive difference. Massive. Now, I know I said I was going to go after the Cashin and the Krivac, but I've kind of changed my mind and I'm going to go after the Orel itself. Because I suddenly remembered that she's not just capable of defending herself, she's also probably their best ship to go after my surface ships. And I don't really wish to seek that out. The sharks are circling, and they're about to strike. It's almost like this Krivac is desperately trying to prevent any attacks on their protectee, the Orel. They're, well, they're not that successful, arguably. That's a big hit on the Krivac. These other torpedoes are tasked to bypass the Krivac, and they just did that, and they're going for the Orel itself. That is the primary target. You can see the Krivac is already taking on a lot of water. Being in a turn also doesn't help. At least not for the optics. That's one. And the other torpedo is still pursuing the Sovereign. There you go. 2 big hits on the Orel. Krivac. Doing 16 knots, listing over the port pretty bad. There's their variable depth sonar getting deployed. Orel got some damage. Seemingly lost propulsion, but otherwise there's just a little bit of fire aboard. If that's it, then they're coming out alive. Until such a time as when the ATGM, the ASM planes show up. Because I can now engage the Orel with a bit more opportunity. Yes, the Sovereign is still going to be a problem, but I think she's going to get hit by this other Mark 48. And that means we're going to have a better chance of getting those missiles on target. The other 2 missiles are still targeting the Chilikin, which is, well, floating away at 3 knots. Not that likely to really pose a problem. I want you guys to both sort of stage here. Iron Crow is still jamming the whole group. We got Iron Crow here jamming the group. I still have six harpoons between these. The Krivak's done for. They're still burning, but if you look away from the ship, sometimes the fire seemingly goes out, but I think in the background it still continues to tick. Now, let's get the hit on this Sovereign. And then I might go with 1 missile on Sovereign and then 4 on the Orel from Joker 1 here. Let's actually put that in motion. So we're going to have 1 missile here. And then 4 on the Orel. And I think that that might be enough for the Orel, but it is an enormous ship. They do take a lot before they actually go down. This guy has not really been successful at running away. Sovereign does carry RBUs, but I think on the bow. Because they can be useful against torpedoes. Where are they? Here. here and there. Maybe they were moving too fast and didn't actually get a chance to detect the incoming torpedo. Baton Rouge, by now, is eagerly awaiting her opportunity to go after these targets again. Oh, the Sovereign died. Really? Okay. Hits on the Chilikin again. Let's hope that's enough this time around. So we're going to wait for those rest of the missiles to come in. I also want to have Joker 8 go on the offensive because I'm not that scared of a Krivac and a cash-in. I don't really need to wait for the other Joker flight to come in. So we're going to go 2 for 2. 2 in the cash-in. That is 6 missiles on the cash-in and 6 missiles on the Krivac. There's 2. There's another 1, 2. And we're back to the barn. Alright, let's see how the Orel's doing. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. They might be slightly listing stern. But for a ship that took 2 Mark 48 torpedoes, I'd say they're in pretty decent shape. Huh. Okay. Salvo 2. This time around, we're going to shoot directly at the Orel. I want to get rid of that ship. This might give the position of the Baton Rouge away. It's just that they don't have a whole lot left that can actually hurt me. If they would actively deploy sonobuoys, that would be a different story, but thankfully the AI isn't that bright. The harpoons are about to reach the Orel, and as you look at the Orel from this distance, you can definitely see she's tilting back a little bit more than you normally would see. Her radar is still jammed. Her fire control from her gun typically is able to get through that, and I am seeing some missiles try and go up. But I rather doubt that the Orel is going to be able to do a whole lot. I don't know what the rest of her damage is like. I don't know what her capabilities still are. She has propulsion. She should have a Sea Whiz. But whether we're going to see that or not, I don't know. There it is. If they're shooting up that high, they're in the pop-up phase. That means they're about to slam down. There's 1, 2. How many did you intercept? 3 more by the Sea Whiz and 1 by the 76 from the cash-in. Wow, calling me impressed. So we really only hit them twice. That's less than optimal. That's less than optimal. Okay. I do have more, I was going to say Tomahawks. I have more harpoons coming in for the cash-in and the Krivac, which are still getting jammed. So hopefully that's going to eliminate these 2, and I might throw the rest of the missiles at the Orel. Because I still have Joker 5. Let's get that done, shall we?
Engaging track 700.
Get all your missiles out there. The Orel, however, is 89 miles out. We got a range of 120. Oh, never mind. It's not an 80 mile range. It's 120. We got range on this thing. I gotta say, for this whole mission, it feels a little easy. Because the AI is still so docile. And I happen to have the Baton Rouge here. If I didn't have the Baton Rouge, it probably would have been a bit of a different story. But maybe not even that much. Because you can still just send your missile trucks filled with harpoons out there. You can get your A6s up, throw these harpoons out, get them back to the carrier, cycle, and do it again. And as long as the AI doesn't actually launch any... Oh, now you're dead. As long as the AI doesn't actually launch any birds, doesn't actually send up an air patrol, doesn't try and hunt down your aircraft, it's all a bit boring. And I'm going to be a little hard on sea power. Yes, the game has improved a heck of a lot since its early access launch in October or November, was it? It's 6 to 7 months later now. 8 if you're looking at October. The AI, however, is still rather passive. It's still rather dumb. And in a game like this, where it really makes or breaks how much of a challenge the game is, I think we need a heck of a lot better AI. Now, I, for one, am looking forward to the dynamic campaign, which they are working on. They're working on a linear campaign first, and then a dynamic campaign later, but, well, I suspect that might be many months away. The problem I see is more so that we're not getting enough of resistance from the AI. If you've played the game for a bit, if you know what sort of tactics work and which don't work against the AI, this becomes a pretty easy game. And I mean, right now, it just meant throwing missiles, throwing harpoons, throwing torpedoes against the submarines. The submarines changed their course a bit, yes, but they never really had a chance. They weren't going to be able to gauge the platforms. They weren't going to be able to get their missiles off. They didn't have a detector. Yeah, you know. None of this is to really discredit the scenario creator. I think the issue is more with the game itself. So that is something I really hope is going to change. Time's about up for the Cassian over here. She's fought a good fight. She's run away as best as she could. But a Mark 48 Mod 6 is faster. And I think it was a noisemaker they just tossed overboard. This is it for them. There's just no escaping. Unfortunately, the missiles that were targeting the Orel didn't have enough seeker cone to go and figure out that the Orel was gone. And that maybe something else could be targeted. So, unfortunately, the harpoons were all lost. They exploded when they couldn't find their targets. If the harpoon seeker cone was a bit wider, it probably would have found this thing. But unfortunately, no such luck. Now, we are... Ooh, yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. It's gonna get hit once astern. There it is. And then probably another time. As the second explosion is going to cripple whatever's left of the ship. And that ought to be it. This poor destroyer, out here all alone, is going to be able to rejoin his comrades. Down at the bottom. Second torpedo came in a little later. Where are you at? There you're at. Yeah, you can already see him listing by the stern. It's gonna get exceptionally bad for him because we're hitting him on his bow as well. And there you go. That's the Cassian out of commission. So, with that, I believe the whole Soviet formation has been crippled. Now, I already had something happen with the trigger where the briefing didn't trigger. So I'm thinking the wind conditions might also not trigger. I've already reported this to the scenario creator. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And I look forward to seeing you back here for the next part up in a few days. Thank you for watching. I'll see you then for more.